Praise the Lord, people of God. Today I am going to discuss a topic which is very important for us because it is being faithful to Jesus until death. And here I am taking again Second Chronicles chapter 15, which talks about King Asa. He was one of the faithful kings to Jehovah God in the old times. And let's see how his story goes. I'm going to read from verse 1. And the Spirit of God came upon Azariah, the son of Oded. And he went out to meet Asa, and said unto him, Hear ye me, Asa, and all Judah and Benjamin. The Lord is with you, while ye be with him. And if ye seek him, he will be found of you. But if ye forsake him, he will forsake you. So this is the message of Jehovah God to Asa, King Asa. And let's see what happens later on in Asa's reign in verse 8. And when Asa heard these words and the prophecy of Oded the prophet, he took courage and put away the abominable idols out of all the land of Judah and Benjamin, and out of the cities which he had taken from Mount Ephraim, and renewed the altar of the Lord Jehovah. That was before the porch of Jehovah. Now, Asa did listen to the prophet, and he did as he was told, as he was faithful to Jehovah God. And this is same as Solomon. In the beginning, Solomon was very faithful to God's ordinances, his commands, and he did everything as that was pleasing to Jehovah God. And let's see what happens here now. Now what happens is that the king of Israel, his name is Baasha, he comes against Asa. Baasha, king of Israel, this is chapter 16, verse 1, came up against Judah and built Ramah, to the intent that he might let none go out or come into the Asa, king of Judah. So he was creating obstacles for Asa. Now what does Asa do here? And at that time, Hanani, now hold on. Here, what Asa does is he goes to the king of Syria and he gives all the golden vessels of the Lord's temple to him as a bribe to protect him against Baasha, the king of Israel. And what the king of Syria does is he protects him by attacking the kingdom of Israel, and so Baasha retreats and he does not build that city again to obstacle Asa. But now in 7, let's see what happens. And at that time Hanani the seer came to Asa, king of Judah, and said unto him, Because thou hast relied on the king of Syria, and not relied on Jehovah thy God, therefore is the host of king of Syria escaped out of thine hand. So now what is going to happen is that God is not going to protect Asa anymore. Because what happens here in 9, let's see, verse 9, For the eyes of Jehovah run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to shew mercy, shew himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. So God declares to him that because he had gone and taken help from the Syrian king instead of asking his opinion, he has now turned against Asa, and there are going to be wars against Asa. So in 10 it says, Then Asa was wroth with the seer and put him in a prison house. So Asa is being even more foolish. He is shooting the messenger, because the messenger is just a mouthpiece of God, and he tells him what God is telling him is the result of his actions. But he goes and imprisons the seer, the prophet, which is of no use, because the prophet, once used, it's finished. He cannot prophesy more than what God tells him to. Now what happens is, in the end, in verse 12 we see, And Asa in the 39th year of his reign was diseased in his feet, until his disease was exceeding great. Yet in his disease he sought not Jehovah, but to the physicians. So in the end, he was not faithful to God, and he was looking for human help rather than divine help. So just like Solomon, the king of Israel, who became wayward in the end because of his wives and started doing idol worship, in the same way, Asa, the king, also relied on human effort rather than divine help. And so, as Paul says in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. So my brothers and sisters, it is very important for us to keep our faith till the end of our last breath, just like Paul the apostle did. And why should we do this? Because Jesus has promised us in Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, Jesus says very clearly, Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. So a bigger promise than this cannot be. So beloved brothers and sisters, I say a very good and blessed day to you all, and Shalom.